Sideline Sedo here. Today we're going to be doing a 23-24 Premier League goalie tier list. We're going to look through all the goalies and basically rank them from best to worst. There's more than exactly 20 goalies on this list. I think there's 24. So some are the backup keepers for teams. And we're just going to make our way through the entire list. I'll give my thoughts on every goalie very quickly, and we'll just kind of keep the ball rolling. I have my midfielders tier list that came out a couple months back now, maybe a few months back now, closer to the summertime. And I thought, why not go with the goalies for the next tier list? I feel like the goalkeeper position for the Prem in general, for any league rather, is one of the most important positions on the pitch. Goalie, CDM, midfielder, regardless, those are like the two biggest. So it felt only right for me to do a goalkeeper tier list. So no more waffling. Without further ado, let's start the list. And we're going to start from the back with Vicario. Vicario, very quickly, I want to say that this man has been a monster. I knew nothing about him going into the season. He's been fantastic for Tottenham. He's been absolutely incredible. Some great shot stopping, some very solid distribution as well. He's helped them play this new style of football that they like to play under Ange Postecoglou. That's very direct and forward thinking, and he really does help them a bunch. He's young. He's had a cracking start to his life in the Premier League, but being that's only his first season, I mean, he's one of the best goalies in the league this season. I can't put him in S. I'll put him in A. Next is this a very blurry picture of Matt Turner for Nottingham Forest. Matt Turner, though, I mean, he's decent. I'm from the United States. He's our national team goalie. He's not that great. He's not that bad. I don't know. I feel like I'm going to leave him in at C for now. That feels right for a team like Nottingham Forest that's kind of, further down in the table. And he didn't really inspire Arsenal. He's not really inspiring at Forest right now. I don't know if he's even fit right now, if he's injured or not. But he wasn't playing today when Forest got pummeled against Fulham. So there's that, I suppose. Next, I believe this is James Trafford at Burnley. I don't know. I haven't seen anything really promising from him all season. And, I know he's a City Academy graduate, but that's not necessarily a marker of success for goalies. I mean, you look at Gavin Bazunu, you look at Loris Karius, you look at Trafford now. There's a couple others. I mean, Ortega's still there. We'll get to him later in the list. But Trafford, I mean, I'm going to have to put him in D. It feels like I just haven't seen anything inspiring. Bart Verbruggen, I don't know. He's been decent, but not the best. I've seen him rotated a bit. I don't know. Is this Steele or is this Verbruggen? I can't tell. I'm assuming it's probably Steele because it's ahead of Turner and Trafford. Steele's like C tier, yeah. Robert Sanchez, definitely the first B tier goalie. He's just okay sometimes. I don't know. I wasn't a big fan of him at Brighton. He got dropped by De Zerbi. I don't really love him at Chelsea. Chelsea fans, comment down below. Let me know what you think of Robert Sanchez. But for me, he's a B tier goalie at best. This is being very generous to him. He has some moments, but he's just kind of inconsistent all around. Next is Jose Sa at Wolves. I feel like he's a B tier goalie as well. He's a very solid goalie. He's a very capable goalie. He makes some very good saves. Nothing more to say on Jose Sa. I think he's quality all around, and I feel like him and Robert Sanchez, they're around the same level. So this is a bit of a beast to tackle, Raya and Ramsdale. So I'm just going to do something very obvious and kind of the reason why I didn't start from the front, but Alisson, Ederson, let me be honest. I'm always going to be biased here, but I think even without any sort of bias, even without any sort of, favoritism here, I think it's safe to say that Alisson Becker is, over the last 2 years, been the best goalie in the Prem, maybe even more. Since he's been towards the top, in my opinion. I think he's better than Ederson by a lot. Ederson is very good at distributing the ball. He's a good shot stopper as well. Not as good as Alisson, but I don't personally see any sort of credence to Ederson being better than Alisson. Some people make the argument. For me, it's Alisson every day of the week. Make sure to comment down below. Let me know who you prefer between Alisson and Ederson, but they're our first two S tier goalies. Next up, Fabianski. Yeah, we could do Fabianski. C tier. He's not as good as these two. It's about that level, I'd say. Flekken, probably like C tier as well. I don't know, C tier, D tier maybe. He hasn't really impressed me at Brentford. He's fine. He's an older goalie as well, so you don't really expect him to grow more. He's like 30, 31, I think. But yeah. Foderingham, you'd be tempted to put him into D, but he's played every minute for Sheffield United this season. I think that's fairly impressive. But I'm gonna have to put him in D still. I mean, you're playing at a club like that, you're not really going to be able to, if you're in the bottom half of the table in the relegation zone, to really show off your goalkeeping chops to a high level. But yeah, is this Guaita? If so, I mean, probably D tier. I don't know. I've never been a fan of him, even throughout all these years as Palace. If this is a different goalie, by the way, I could be totally wrong. I think this is Vicente Guaita, or Guaita, or however you pronounce it. Let me check if they have any other goalie that kind of looks like this guy, because, I mean, either way, he's going into D tier, but I just don't want to mistake this for anybody. I don't think this is anyone else. I mean, who they got? They got Sam Johnstone. Is that Dean Henderson? Or is that Remy Matthews? What? Who's Remy Matthews? I think that's Dean Henderson. And then Sam Johnstone. I mean, Dean Henderson. Yeah, we'll keep these guys in D tier. Johnstone, honestly, to my knowledge, he's had 5 clean sheets in 15 games, 69% save percentage, 73% ball accuracy. It's not been that great, really, for Sam Johnstone. So, yeah, I think that's also fair. Next, Kaminski. Okay, Kaminski's different, because this dude Kaminski, I've seen him play in a few matches now, and he's pretty good. I mean, not wow, he's not anything better than the C tier, but I was impressed, honestly. But I guess we'll have to put him in D just because it's a Luton. Honestly, I'll keep him in C because I like his performance. Next is Bernd Leno. I'm putting Bernd Leno in A tier straight away. Bernd Leno is a player who has flown under the radar for many teams, I think, or many fans, I should say. He had his time at Arsenal. He is now at Fulham. He's not perfect. I can't put him in A tier. I'm sorry. He's going into B tier. I'll put him ahead of Jose Sa and Robert Sanchez. Next is Hugo Lloris. Probably a B tier goalie. Very low B tier, high C tier. He hasn't played all season. I kind of forgot he's on the books of Tottenham still. So yeah, I think B is fair. A few seasons back when France was winning the World Cup, you could make an argument for A, and that would be a low A maybe, or a mid A, but now it's a low B, high C for Hugo Lloris. And I'm not talking about the sugary kids drink high C. I'm talking about the grade. We'll give him a low B just for balancing sake. Next is Emi Martinez. Emi Martinez, I mean, he's better than Vicario. Might even want to put him at the bottom of S for balance sake. Let's keep him there, and then if we have people if we have like a disparity where we need more people down in lower tiers, we can move him down. But I feel like Martinez, I mean, he's won a World Cup. He's a bit of a shithouse. He's just a really great goalie, honestly. And honestly, I can't hate the guy. I mean, some people rightfully would hate him. The French rightfully probably would hate him, and other fan bases. But he's a quality goalie all around. I mean, not the best with distribution all the times, but he's an older goalie, so you could kind of excuse that to an extent. But yeah, next is Beto. Beto, I like Beto enough. He's like low B. I feel like that's fair. Next is Andre Onana. Put Andre Onana in C tier. Do we put him in C tier or low B? I feel like you gotta have him there. Let's just do this to save ourselves some agony, to balance it out. High C tier for Beto, or Neto, not Beto, for Neto. Onana, low B ahead of Hugo Lloris. I can't have Hugo Lloris got to go to C tier. Beto up to B tier. Sorry, Hugo. Next is Stefan Ortega. Ortega. Probably like right around here. It's probably the correct order. Maybe there. I don't know. That seems fair for Ortega. I mean, he's City's backup. Nothing more else to say. He looks okay sometimes. He's not the best, but he's, no Zach Steffen, for example, letting in goals. Next is Pickford, and honestly, this might surprise people, being that I'm a Liverpool fan, but I think Pickford's a B tier goalie. I mean, he's better than, let's see, who would I say he's better than? I mean, at very least, right? Like, I would say that Pickford is probably better than Neto and Onana. Jose Sa, I'd put ahead. But I think this is where I would have him. Right below Robert Sanchez, ahead of Onana. That feels fairly fair for Jordan Pickford. He's not a bad goalie. He just gets caught out sometimes, and his distribution isn't perfect all the time. He also has this tendency to get caught up in antics, like another goalie we'll get into very shortly. But yeah, those are just my thoughts on him. Next is Nick Pope. We're going to put him into A tier straight away, ahead of Vicario. I think Pope was fantastic last season. He's got a few errors in him. He's not a perfect goalie, but he's very quality and probably England's number one. Someone who's not England's number one, more than likely, unless they leave in January, is this man, Aaron Ramsdale. Aaron Ramsdale, let me say my piece on Aaron Ramsdale right away. Aaron Ramsdale is decent goalie. Arteta clearly wanted to replace Aaron Ramsdale with David Raya. David Raya is a decent goalie. But neither are have any notable traits, characteristics, qualities, or skills that really make me think, wow, this guy's leagues ahead of this guy. This guy's ceiling so much higher. This guy could get to this level. All that said, given the current state of all these players in the Prem, where I've ranked them and everything, I feel like they're both A tier. I think that David Raya is slightly better than Aaron Ramsdale. I think they're both A tier. I'm also gonna do something. Sorry, Matt Turner, but you're going to D. You're probably in that conversation more so than the C tier conversation. Let's all be honest here. And Neto, I'll move you there too. And do I move Onana to C? I can't. We'll leave Onana at the bottom of B. Onana's not a bad goal either. I feel as if Onana has a whole learning process still, and he hasn't had a real stable back line, so it's hard to really gauge him. but I wouldn't say he's necessarily perfect. But that's my tier list. I'll leave the link to this tier list in the comments or in the description below. Make sure to like the video if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, comment down below what do you think of my tier list, and let me know what your tier list looks like, or who you think the top 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 or however many goalies. You can rank them all with this tier list. So feel free to do it if you so please. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far, genuinely appreciate it. And yeah, tier lists are back on the menu. I don't know which one I should do next. Thinking maybe center backs, maybe fullbacks, maybe strikers. Strikers could be fun. We'll see what I do, but thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, once again, make sure to like and subscribe if you're new. Thanks again for making it this far. I'm Sideline Sedo. Hope you enjoyed. Peace.